Hi everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. It has been a busy couple of weeks and we have been up on the roof. Now this is what we believe to be the tallest roof and the highest chimney in the entire town. Well, in working on the roof, we found out that that chimney apron up there needs some repair, and so do the chimney flues. Now I've had a chimney replacement flue video before, and we'd put a new cap on it, and a couple people had commented over on time that they would have liked to see me remove the chimney flue. Well, it's hard to be up on any roof that high, so I'm not going to be showing you that, but you can easily chip away any of the old concrete apron or the chimney flue with a chisel and a hammer, and it just falls down into your clean out in your basement and you vacuum it away. The previous video that I did explained and showed that, but not everyone understood. We are using a safety harness on my husband to get up there, and the perfect opportunity to do this job is right now because we just finished roofing and we still have the ladder jacks and the platforms up there, or scaffolding, for him to be able to get up on that roof and that chimney. Now, if a homeowner were to hire this done, they're probably going to end up with some hazard pay. So this isn't really something that is a DIY on this height roof for everybody. So use your own judgment. We have the ladder tied to the jacks. He has a body harness, and then the safety rope is tied to the chimney, which is also very solid. Now what happened is water got in, and there's a layer of chimney flue liners inside of the chimney, and the water got in there, and with expansion, they didn't use expansion joint material. We use a foam around them so that it can expand and contract and not cause any pressure for cracking. So he's got that all chipped out and cleaned out, and you can see he's made himself a nice carrying handle with some rope. See that? And he's going to be able to take this right up the ladder. Now these are quite heavy. I would guess probably 15 pounds maybe, and he's going to take these up. These are actually some older ones that we found with a nice brown glaze. This one's going to be on bottom. This one is going to be on top. It matches the chimney a lot better. So we're going to go ahead with that. So as you can see, here's our chimney terminating in the basement, or beginning in the basement, and here's your clean out door. Now the clean out door, that's where you're going to clean out any of the clay tile that you've chiseled out. So once those are set in place and mortared in, we're going to put a frame around the chimney to redo the apron, and that's going to be our pour boards, or your mold boards, and they're simply going to be boxed in and screwed together with these construction screws, and it'll make a nice framework. If you oil your boards, it won't stick to the boards when you are releasing them, and you'll have a nice clean edge. He likes to joke and say safety last, but not on this job.
Safety fourth.
Yeah, safety fourth. Well, pretty much. So as you can see, this is as tall as I said it was. He's got his first flue lowered down into there, so he is just unfastening the string to try to jimmy that back out of there, wiggle it out. He had originally had it on the corners and said it would be pinching at the corners and be too hard to unthread out. I think it's a paracord type string from a tent that was disposed of a long time ago. So what he's doing right there is you give yourself, there's a locking handle latch on the rope, and then a tether going to his back. So you can shorten it and lengthen it as you need so that you can move around. And then when you get to where you want to go, you shorten it up. Then you're kind of locked in place so that if you slip and fall, your rope is going to hold you. I'll put a link in the description down below on these kits. We had to get it for, obviously, the roofing job, and it's worked out really well. Now, your mortar mix is available at any big box store, but it will tell you if you have to buy the Chimney flues or a flue liner, a brick supply place or Menards is the best place to go because they have them generally on hand, or they can get them for you basically overnighted or a couple of days with delivery to your home or right to the store. I think the last time we had to buy a chimney flue, maybe it was a 10 by 10 and it was maybe $25. We've already got all our mortar mix, concrete for the apron cap and all the mixing materials, so we don't have to deal with that. But in general, I can say I think it's 60 pounds for mortar is maybe $6. This is a really low cost investment in your home versus the labor that you'd be paying for with a hired job. Now, our last roof that we worked on with the chimney was called a hip roof, so the angle was not so steep. We were able to work on it without ladder jacks, and I was able to go up and do this work on my own. If I can do it, and that was, like a 1.5 story house, then most people probably could. It's just, being brave. So this is the second flue, and we're wrapping it with the expansion foam, and we're just using some duct tape to hold it in place. And the expansion foam, we guesstimated down, it's supposed to have about a 5-inch reveal after it's installed, and it will meet up with the sides of the chimney apron. Now, you don't want water getting between your terracotta flue and your concrete, so we use a roofing tar or a caulk at the top.
Eve trough caulking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like rubber.
Mm-hmm.
So when I trim this off with a razor blade, I coat the top of this with a layer of I coat this so nothing ever touches it, and just kind of get over on the concrete and up on this just a little bit.
Yeah.
Coat all the way around after I trim this with a razor blade, and even beyond that, we've always put a metal cap.
Right.
So
the problem we had with the one before is water was getting between here and the concrete on the apron, and it was freezing and thawing and cracked that. Now that's, what is that, a 1/2 inch? 3/4?
I don't know, but and then the apron needed repair too, so
yeah. So everything's getting done. And basically what was happening is water was running down that, and all they had to do was put a chimney cap on it in the first place to have not had that so exposed to the weather. And a lot of houses don't have that. They just didn't think it was necessary. There's not like downpouring rains coming in to go down into your chimney. But once that fails, then you end up with water spots on your ceiling. And then we got to looking into the roof and everything. And if you saw the video on the woodpeckers, you could see that the roof was waiting for this guy to show up for the job. Okay, the second flue's going up. He'll set that right on top of the other. you guys see that? He's throwing stuff at me from the roof. Now with this one, it doesn't have to go down so low. The way the chimney is designed, there's a jog in the brick and it goes sideways through the attic, and then they get it straight where they want to be in the center of the house, off-centered, and lines up with the basement here. So that second or third flue is sitting on a jog area on top of another flue, and then this one he's able to lower down because it's just going to sit on top of the other. See, shortening up the safety rope. And these are 8x8s. Some are 9x9. Some are between 7 and 9. Some are larger. And for our expense on this, we bought the chimney cap for about $34.99, I think. And I will tell you, they were cheaper at Menards than they were at Lowe's and Home Depot by $15 to $20 for the same exact item. And he'll probably wait to put this on until tomorrow, but you see it just is an easy mount. It just screws right on. And I want to say the stainless steel version of this was maybe $50 more money, maybe $89. And available at some stores but not others. And I know that they did have the stainless steel at Lowe's, but because this is galvanized, it's not as likely to rust. I know eventually it would, but with a 5-year warranty, it's good enough. So right now he's mortaring between the actual chimney block and the flue up to the top. And he just takes up the mortar in a bucket. And this is actually an old rubber bucket, but it works really good for this purpose, for cleaning it out and getting all of it, versus having a big plastic 5-gallon bucket. I wouldn't want to be mixing up the mortar up on the roof. It is a little heavier getting it there this way though. So right now he's got his boards around the lip of the original apron or concrete top, and he's adding a second course above that so that in the end the original apron will all be encased with new concrete. So this is our mix. He's doing a sand mix, and this is what it is. It actually says sand mix on it. We're not mixing sand. The concrete itself is very stony, and you get a really rough textured finish that we don't want for this job when we're done. And the second set of forms is up there, you see. The second set of forms is screwed in to the first set of forms that I showed you, and he actually measured them just a hair smaller so they would pinch. And then none of this, no excess liquid, nothing will run out and run down. And then he shimmed it also to make sure that it doesn't slide down at all. And then that whole apron will sit there and dry 2 days or 1?
For the forms?
Yeah.
I'll take them off in a day or two, and then we'll paint it with S-mortar with a brush.
That gives it like a stucco looking finish.
Any little pores or imperfections is covered, and that's a maintenance thing. Every few years or so, just repaint it with S-mortar, and then that no moisture can get in.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
So he's gonna head back up there with this. and get that poured. Now keep in mind, there are fast set concretes and mortar mixes and sand mixes that you can use, and there's additives that you can use to help it fast set. It's been our experience that they generally have a shorter life expectancy than just the standard concrete or, you know, regular drying mixes. You want to make sure that you're doing it at a good temperature. We are well above freezing today and tomorrow. You can see he's up there with his trowel and he's doing his finish work to make it nice and smooth. You kind of work out the air bubbles, jiggle things around, and then you'll have a nice non-porous finish by doing that. So this job is about done for today, and we'll be cleaning these up. Now remember to clean, wash off your tools, otherwise you're going to be adding inches and inches every time you do a project to your bucket or to your trowel. So get it good and washed off outside. Do not run any of this down your plumbing. So we'll just rinse everything off and throw the dirty water right in the gravel driveway. So you can see he's taken the foam all off of the top of the chimney cap. Despite it getting a little cold last night, we got a light frost. It has been about 12 hours maybe. I guess 15 hours. And it's solid enough to take it off, clean it. He's using a wire brush to clean up anything, you know, loose, where he did any mortar repair in the chimney, just to brush any dust off so that it's clean looking. It looks great. He said it was so old and wore off, it almost looked like humped up, like play sand from a sandbox building a sandcastle. You could see the tops of every single brick up there, which means then, you know, they have little openings. Generally there's 3 or 4 holes in each brick. So then you start getting water infiltration going into every brick and every brick, just trickling down, and then suddenly your chimney itself is crumbling. So we caught it well before that. Super happy about this job. It's all complete, and that is doing your own chimney flue and chimney cap replacement. So we've trimmed off any excess foam that we wrapped around the chimney flue, and I want to say, some people say it's right, some people say it's wrong. You do it the way that you prefer. Some people like the foam, some people like just mortar, but then the mortar puts pressure on the flue and can crack it. So, you know, every old school guy does it differently. So with that sealed, then the cap will go on. This is our nice tall cap. You want to make sure that it's anchored really well, because the wind would catch that. So we had a slight issue with the store-bought chimney cap and decided to take it back. He took all his measurements home and did a custom fabrication. We had a video on a chimney cap custom fabrication, I believe last year or the year before. So if you want to find out how to make one, you can refer back to that video. I'll try to link it in the description or put in a card up in the corner of the video. And basically what was happening is, it's an 8x8 chimney flue. The chimney cap from the store said it'll go from 7 to 9 inches, adjustable. And the trouble is, as you tighten down the screws that hold in the corner, it was not staying where he wanted to stay, just wanted to move around. There was no way to actually tighten it, and it was also changing shape as he was trying to tighten it down. So in a good wind, it was going to get caught and end up smashing into the neighbor's building, or blown away in their yard because it was so lightweight. This is made of heavy-duty steel and angle iron, all welded and painted up. And because it has a curved top, it is going to shed any water or snow right off of it instead of anything accumulating on it. It is going to look great. We have a rectangle one on a double chimney at our house, our home, and it's worked really well for keeping out anything. So that is the beautiful new chimney cap. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.